This story comes to us from WFLX.com. And here's one where the police are teaching people how to interact with police. The people are teenagers. That's right. High school students in Port Lucie will soon be learning more about how to interact with police officers during traffic stops.
I was about 19 or 20 years old. I was coming home from work.
Meet Colin Duncombe.
I was driving by in the Liberty City area where a police officer was stopped. As I passed by and pulled in my driveway, next thing you know, I had a police car behind my car in the driveway.
Scared and nervous, he complied with the officer's demands.
She told me to come to her, and she made me put my hands on the hot hood of her car.
The Port St. Lucie Police Department is the only agency in the state to receive a grant in order to make the Officer Steve Brown Model Traffic Stop Program possible. Brown was a school resource officer at Treasure Coast High School before passing away in 2019 from a heart attack. He was well known for the positive relationships he had with the student body. And of course, there's a program now named after him on how to teach high school students to interact with cops on traffic stops.
When she did that, she had another person in the car. The guy came around to the driver's side, and she told him to watch him as she go to search my car, and she told him if I moved to kick me between my legs.
Duncombe had become a victim of an unjust traffic stop.
She searched my car, and after she was done, they left. I didn't do anything. They didn't ask me for any other information.
That moment, he says, changed everything, driving him towards his destiny, to where he can now make a difference.
Now, as students hit the streets, many of them for the first time behind the wheel this summer, it's important that both they and officers know how to react in the event of a traffic stop. Over the next few weeks, school resource officers will be visiting 10th grade classrooms in Port St. Lucie to teach students about how to react when getting pulled over. Gretchen Raziella, the program coordinator at the Port St. Lucie PD, says there's really nothing that they need to be scared of if they just simply do what it takes and apply the brakes. So she's saying basically, they light you up, you pull over, you do what they tell you.
Gretchen Raziella is the program's coordinator.
Can I just see your license, registration, proof of insurance, please?
She says on the other side is a portion of training for officers based on the concerns from teen drivers.
That was the first thing that we did. We went out and we talked with these students, and a lot of them just had this misconception that every single officer is biased and they're not going to get a fair shake no matter what. There's really nothing that they need to be scared of if they just simply do what it takes and apply the brakes.
The brakes is an acronym to be prepared. Respect is key. Always follow instructions. Keep your hands visible. Explain your actions and save it for later.
Beside the roadway, that's not where you need to argue whether or not you feel this is a justified traffic stop. If you got a citation, it's an invitation to court.
Invitation. You're invited to attend our court. They always say that too. Tell it to the judge. We're not going to hold court on the street. And sometimes the cop isn't even enforcing a broken law. Sometimes these cops misinterpret the law because they don't know what the hell the law. We can't remember every law, so take your ass back to the car and look it up. No, we don't hold court on the street. We just do it. If we're wrong, the judge will let you know. If I'm wrong at my work, we get reviews. And if we're wrong, we have to go through training. If they're wrong, it's, can't know all of them. Then why are you a cop? Raziella said there's a portion of training for officers in the program. Yeah, sure. It's based on the concerns provided by teenage drivers.
The program will be taught to 10th grade students at all Port St. Lucie high schools by school resource officers. The hope is to expand it to schools across the state and eventually the nation.
I don't think that every single officer is biased, but there are a lot of cops who are biased. There are. And you guys can say whatever you want, but when I cop watch in San Bernardino, and I'm not going to give you an exact number, but this is figuratively or symbolically what I see. White people pulled out of a car so that the cops could search their car. Black people pulled out of a car so cops could search their car. White people sitting on a curb, black people sitting on a curb. That's what I see. That's the ratio. And that's not an exact figure, but that's just figuratively, that's what I see. I mean, I can't. Show me where the police are putting more Caucasian people on the curb than people of color, and I'll believe that. But when I see it with my naked eye, or as they said in Scent of a Woman, my untrammeled vision. Although my vision is trammeled with these, right? But you know what I'm saying? So these kids are right to a certain degree that there are biased cops out there.
Today I am Sergeant Duncan with the Port St. Lucie Police Department in charge of traffic unit of DUI operations. Today I stop teen drivers and I put myself in that situation of how I want to be stopped.
After visiting local high schools and talking with students, many of them told police their perceptions of officers and how they believe every officer interaction is negative.
I try my best to make a difference today instead of holding on to what happened to me in the past. We're here to help. We're not here to hurt people.
To help educate students as they begin driving, the Port St. Lucie Police Department is visiting classrooms, teaching kids how to interact with officers during traffic stops.
I wonder if they're learning the Constitution. I wonder if they're teaching them the U.S. Constitution. I mean, obviously they're teaching them, hey, this is how you act with cops, okay? Who's teaching them? The cops.